His Excellency Mr. Shakir Özkan Torunlar, His Excellency Mr. Sanjay Panda, President of Foreign Economic Relations Board, Mr. President, Mr. Nail Olpak, dear participants, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen. As a chairman of DEİK and DEİK India Turkey Business Council, it's really a great pleasure to deliver opening remarks today. On behalf of DEİK Turkey and India Business Council, we are really proud to host you here. Welcome to Turkey-India Interconnected Business Meeting. I'd like to say welcome in Indian language. Mere pyare Bharatiya mitro ka Istanbul or Turkey mein swagat hai. Today, really we are welcoming very important speaker in our event. I'd like to here announce them. Mr. Israr Mecca, Regional Chairman at Federation of Indian Export Association. Mrs. Aysun Timur, our Commercial Counselor at Turkish Embassy in India. Mr. Rakesh Kaur, Member, Confederation of Indian Industry. Mr. Fikri Özdemir, Operation Director of Arçelik in India. And lastly, Mr. Mehmet Ali Ugur, General Manager of Betafood. Really, we are proud today. We are proud more than 100 people registered in our Turkey interconnected business event. Is everything okay? My voice is okay?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. I'd like to announce that opening speech will be followed by two sessions. The first session is business and investment opportunity in India and Turkey. And the second one, experience sharing by our guests. We will listen them. Finally, we will separate 3 sectoral networking rooms. The company introduce themselves, really fruitful and also useful for us. Food and agro products, construction, and healthcare. So 3 sectors we will be together after the session we finish. We'd like to hear especially our counterparts, CIA, FICI, and TPCI. Really, they are cooperating with us in every aspect of relation. We are thankful to them. We would like to increase the effectiveness of business between Turkey and India. So we target something. One of them is our company to enter the Indian market. We tried, and also we try to organizing private sector online platform even, not only after COVID-19, but also during COVID-19, because we have lots of things during COVID-19, so we cannot wait after the time. So we are doing many things. That's for your information. Also, our relations with our counterparts, CIA, TPCI, and FICI. These 3 main counterparts, we are developing our relations. We are doing many things, but for the sake of India and Turkey business relations, we do especially main things for cooperation between Turkey and India in third countries. These are also some of our aims. Dear guests, dear participants, as you know, India is among the top countries marking the Asia century of us. And India economy has recently become the 5th largest in the world economy. As GDP, more or less, I can say $3 trillion, more or less. So many strategic objectives in India, made in India, as you know, Skill India, Digital India, all these things right now, in even COVID-19, it's very good perspective for India, play an important role in India economy today and in future. Nowadays, unfortunately, unexpected crisis of the time. We are living bad times of the world. So, but anyway, I know India and Turkey will just overcome all these handicaps and obstacles by standing together and against, of course, COVID-19 in every aspect, not only business investment, but also social and cultural relations. There are many opportunities in India, growing middle class, increasing domestic demand, so many things to do. one of them contracting and construction. These are not only for India, but also Turkey, you know, as a star of business. Health and medical equipment, especially the world and everybody needs now. Food and agro products, we cannot do without food. So it's very important nowadays, especially. Tourism, last year 300,000 tourists came to Turkey. It's a peak time for us, very important. Energy, defense industry, and many things. Of course, should be everything for both countries, win-to-win situation relation. We are more take care for this point. I'm sure this bilateral trade will grow in better way, but all these economic relations in this side should also get the coordination of trade ministry and also foreign affairs ministry, a new initiative Asia approach, make it stronger. Believe me, dear friends, we observe it from now on, and we started to manage it. Many things, great things happened, and I would like to announce here that one of these first in 2020 in COVID-19 time, first Thai company with $2.3 billion investment in India. It's amazing, it's incredible investment, and which is surprising for us, but it happens in India. So we say this is the barakat of being together. In even COVID-19, Turkish company invest 150 million also 1 month ago. This is another great thing, and also a good news for banking and finance. We had a meeting. With MBD rating authorities in India, and we had a financial with these institutions, these banks, and this will be really great for business opportunity. It will increase the effectiveness. It will decrease the cost for both investors. Really, in 4 states right now, in 5 bank branches, you will be host as a VIP service by these banks for India and also Turkey. Really, that sounds great. That makes you feel better. So investor and businessmen in India and Turkey, they will benefit this advantage. So this is another advantage of banking and finance. Nowadays, we manage as together. I'd like to thank you for your time consideration, attention also. And also would like to give the virtual floor to DEİK President, Mr. Nail Olpak. We are with you, President. Ben DEİK Genel Başkanımız Sayın Nail Olpak'a konuşmasını da yapmak üzere sözü vermek istiyorum. Buyurun efendim.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much Tevfik Bey. Our Ambassador Şakir Özkan Torunlar and Indian Ambassador Mr. Sanjay Panta, Federation of Indian Export Association Regional Chairman Mr. Isar Mekka, our Commercial Counselor Ms. Aysun Timur, dear panelists and participants. First of all, I wish a healthy day to all of us. Also, I would like to express my sincere condolences for the death of the 13th President of India, Pranab Mukherjee, inspiring leader for younger generation in India. For today, yes, I am very glad to be with all of us in the organization of our online meeting series, as Tevfik Bey had said. It's been called Interconnected Business Series. Of course, as business people, our aim is to gather our business people together for mutual development and for mutual business. We are going to try to evaluate the business and investment opportunities in spite of COVID-19. Before, let me begin with a brief introduction about DEİK. Most of you maybe know about that, but it's better to give few words. Foreign Economic Relations Board of DEİK is a business platform that has been continuing its activities on a volunteer-based private sector membership for 35 years. We call our understanding as business diplomacy. And for this purpose, we have 146 country-to-country based business councils all over the world. And our Turkey-India Business Council is one of that. It has been founded in 1996 and carrying on its activities with the counterpart of Confederation of Indian Industry under an MOA agreement, now with the leadership of Tevfik Dönmez. As we are doing today during the pandemic, since we are not coming together, it's not possible. We as human beings, we all find a way, and now we are having all the activities on these video conferences. As they also, we do the same. Average, let me say that we are having maybe 5 to 8 meetings daily. If we come to our economic relations, of course, we are going to speak deeply. I'm not going to speak deeply on that. We know that India is the 5th largest economy in the world. That is very important for us. When we look at the friendly relations between Turkey and India, which has been developed based on mutual respect and sincere ties for many years, unfortunately, I believe as a business people, our economic relations is not responding the volume. The bilateral trade volume, as we all know, for the last year was about nearly to $8 billion. And the responsibility belongs to us. We have here the ambassadors, the consul generals, when it is necessary, all the ministers, commercial consulars. So they are here together with us to help. So as business people, I believe we should work hard. And Tevfik Bey, you are one of them who should work harder. Thank you for your efforts with your friends. We know that India has free trade agreement with ASEAN. That is important for our business people. We have good companies acting in India, such as Arçelik, Çelebi, Gülerbağ, Vitra. So that means this will encourage other business people. From our other side, what we are doing from ourselves and what we can do, during this pandemic, we all learned that everything has been changing. There is a paradigm change, and I want to speak a little bit about it. Coronavirus somehow told us how to change our life. Now, more than ever, we are moving increasingly to mobile. That means thinking more digital and building in resilience. Of course, business will need to make significant change as consumer habits change, supply change, readapt and restricted. Just to give you a few examples, you know, we were all speaking about globalization. Yes, it was true, but especially during this pandemic time, we are much more speaking about good localization. That is very important. Now we are together with the effects of the pandemic. We are discussing the risks of depending on a single or limited sources, which increase the vulnerability of supply chain. Of course, we are also questioning logistics again. We know that logistics is quite important for our life, and we are talking more about the concept of accessibility rather than the concept of proximity or distance, because logistics is related with distance. The market diversification and rethinking of global supply chain management in a shifting trade environment, potential new markets have gained an increased significance, arguably more than ever. And it seems not only our daily habits or style of doing business is moving towards a new normal, but also finance sector is shifting to an alternative role. For that point, I believe when we are moving towards, we should keep those notes also. I would like to finish my speech with an Indian saying. It says, we cannot change the direction of the wind, but we can adjust the sails. I believe we are here for that. Thank you.
Sayın Başkanım, Konuşmanız için teşekkür ediyoruz. I'd like to thank our President, Mr. Olpak, for his really kind speech. Really a paradigm change in the world, and supply chain is in the world is very important, as you say. We are again facing this problem. Yes, it is I think a very important time of the life, we can say. We are really deeply saddened by his death, Pranab Mukherjee. He marked on the last 50-year political history of India. The former president of Bharat. We will pray always with him for a happy soil. Om Shanti Pranab Mukherjee. May Mukherjee lie in peace. We will really miss him. Now, I'd like to give the speech to His Excellency Mr. Sanjay Tanda, a new ambassador of India to Turkey. We are with you, Excellency.
Thank you, Tevfik Bey. In fact, I always admire your enthusiasm in taking India-Turkey relations to new heights. And that's why I had the privilege of hosting you, my first visitor after joining my new assignment was Tevfik Bey. Thank you very much for all your support. In fact, delighted to also meet the president of DEİK, Mr. Olpak. Of course, we are meeting virtually. These are the difficult times, but I look forward to an occasion of meeting you in person. And of course, although we have been speaking over the phone, this is the first opportunity that we have come face to face virtually with Ambassador Torunlar. In fact, Excellency, it's a delight to meet you today and share this platform with you. Friends and all the members of the business community, captains of industry present here, I first of all compliment DEİK for this interconnected business series and thinking about putting in perspective the state of play of our relations, bilateral relations, and how we should chart the roadmap for the future. And I must confess that the last couple of days in the run-up to this meeting, I have had two interesting conversations in Ankara. I met His Excellency Mr. Mustafa Varank, the Minister of Technology and Industry. And yesterday I met the Deputy Minister of Trade, Her Excellency Gonca Batur. And we had a comprehensive review of where we stand today and how the pandemic is now dictating how we should move in what direction. And I quite appreciate how the DEİK president very rightly said that we cannot control the wind, but we have to adjust the sails. And that's precisely what we are here to do. Friends, first of all, I think it's very important for us today to pay tribute to our former president, Pranab Mukherjee, who before becoming the president was actually our Minister for Foreign Affairs. And in that context, I had the opportunity of working very closely with him and had always valued his guidance. I remember in 2013, when he visited Turkey as the president, he had used a term. He said that we are natural partners. And I can tell you that we are indeed natural partners. It's a different story that we have not achieved our potential. And somehow we have missed and not seen the larger picture when it comes to how and where India-Turkey should move. In fact, we have had a historical, cultural, and civilizational connect. And this, unfortunately, has not translated in business terms. Country, both these vibrant economies, which are both members of G20, with 8 billion bilateral trade, it is actually doesn't reflect what our potential actually is. In fact, what we are working now, and His Excellency, the Turkish ambassador, to India would agree with me that we should put concerted effort to get a target of 20 billion US dollar bilateral trade by the year 2025. This is immensely attainable, and is just that we need to have a focused approach. In fact, as all of you might have been aware, although India is the 5th largest economy in the world, the last quarter, the result, during this period of the pandemic has been really bad. In fact, we have been one of the worst affected due to the pandemic, with our GDP, taking a almost 23% during this quarter. Well, of course, there's a very short period, and it doesn't reflect really over the long term what the state of the economy has been. But if we have to see how the economy has been affected during this quarter, so this pandemic is for real. So we have to, that is why it's very important. And it's the same thing with Turkey. I mean, the economy, the state of economy has also taken a big hit thanks to the pandemic. So that is why I feel that it is important that we together have to navigate these difficult times. I think it is very important for us to put in perspective what exactly, where exactly we stand today thanks to the pandemic. It is a fact that is the greatest shock to the global system since the Second World War. The primary impact has been economic, and there's a universal slowdown. It's not a question of India and Turkey. There's a universal slowdown of the world economy in 2020. So in fact, it is the most severe since the Great Depression of the 1920s and 1930s. In fact, I also like to say this, that this is the first economic depression in living memory, which is of non-economic origin. I mean, it began as Chinese manufacturing slowdown, but then what followed, I mean, slowdown because of the pandemic, but what followed, the quarantines, the lockdowns, the travel bans, this actually expanded the economic impact. And President of DEİK mentioned about the supply side shock and how the logistics and how things have been affected. Of course, all of us know that the supply chain has been disrupted. There is a demand shock, and that is why resumption of economic activity is critical for us if we have to prevent what is already a recession from getting into a depression. Now, that is why I'm reminded of what my Prime Minister says, that we have to think both in terms of life and lives and livelihood. That means if you think that, okay, we have to protect the life only and forget about the livelihood, that won't work. That is why resumption of economic activity is important, and we have to find a way of doing it. This is, for example, the new normal as we are brainstorming today. And this is probably what we have to accept. And similarly, we'll have to find a way of doing business. Now, when I say that the situation, the global situation is very bad, I mean, I'm reminded of what everybody is talking about, Sir Winston Churchill's saying, and I think it's very apt at this point, when you say, don't let a crisis go west. That means you look for opportunities in a crisis. Now, I am very candid when I'm talking to my friends in the business community. I'm very candid. I mean, if you know that there is a, the supply chain has been disrupted, the logistics, the global logistics have been disrupted, the manufacturing has got affected. And then there are many countries who have come to realize that putting all eggs in one basket is not the correct way of doing business. So here we had to find the opportunities for Turkey and India, how to move forward and take our bilateral trade and economic engagement to the next level. It is not difficult. All that it required that we have to have a conducive atmosphere of doing it. In spite of the present, problems that both our countries are facing in terms of economic health, what is important are the fundamentals. When you have the strong fundamentals, then you will bounce back. And I'm very optimistic that we will bounce back. And moreover, history also tells us that every crisis is always always succeeded by periods of growth. I mean, you can see what happened after the Great Depression, what happened after the Second World War. So we have to have this sustained economic expansion. And also there was a mention about, there are some countries who think that probably it is important to localize the economic activity so that you are immune from global shocks. That is actually not correct. In fact, there is this debate which is brewing that whether it is globalization or localization. Actually, what we need to do, you need to have both. And that is why I feel that India and Pranab Mukherjee was right. India and Turkey are natural partners because you have strong manufacturing base, your economic fundamentals are strong, and so are these aspects for India. So whenever I feel that while we have, let's not get into this debate of globalization versus localization. So what is important that we have to go in for what is called glocalization. It's a mix of globalization and localization. And this is what is required. I mean, we have to, you cannot really localize and talk about global supply chains. So this is what we have to do. Now, what this pandemic has also taught us, that there are certain sectors which have really grown. I mean, for example, e-commerce, IT-enabled services. You know, this digital economy and this digital infrastructure has really grown and is all set to grow now. Now, so far as India and Turkey are concerned, I mean, I feel that the diversity of our economic engagement is something which is very important. Your strengths and our strengths have to be synergized. There is so much that can be done in, for example, in the field of infrastructure. We have an insatiable appetite in India for infrastructure, which is what we need. And these are your areas of strength. So it should be actively, of course, there are Turkish companies who are doing a wonderful job, but there are more such opportunities which will come our way. Similarly, there is a point which is being made here during my interaction here, which is about the balance, the trade balance, or rather you call it the trade imbalance, with tilted heavily in favor of India. But out of 1 billion, if I mean, out of 8 billion, if about 1.2 is Turkish exports to India, and about 6.8 is India's exports to Turkey. You know, I personally feel that we should not be more concerned about this, for the simple reason that while I compliment Turkey for this enormous gas find in the Black Sea, and we have so much of demand for natural gas, and the moment Turkey becomes a net exporter of energy, India would be its largest buyer. And suddenly you will find the tables have turned. So it's the same thing. I'm telling you from my experience in the United States. There was a lot of noise which was being made about the trade imbalance. And in fact, President Trump decided to withdraw the GSP, the General System of Preferences, I mean the preferential treatment which was accorded to India. But then, it was seen that a huge order which was placed with Boeing, I mean, that entire 21 billion of trade imbalance which was in favor of India, at one stroke, we could see the potential of getting removed. So one shouldn't get more concerned about it. Our focus should be the areas of our strength and how trade and investment can be accentuated, can be, our scope is there, and it is for us to really take it on and help expand it. I could go on and on, but friends, I think we have a great opportunity as we have seen the cooperation, what we have done in field of pharmaceuticals, for example. As we fight the pandemic. It is India and Turkey, we have to look for avenues where we can cooperate and we enhance our trade and economic opportunities. With these words, I hope all the very best, and I wanted to assure you that the Embassy of India in Ankara, we are now having a very, very clear economic and commercial orientation, and our commercial head of our commercial wing, Alok Verma, is here. I have instructed him that that is our bread and butter, economic diplomacy. So we have to do it. But at the same time, I also feel that in India and Turkey, there may be some forces which are at work to really ensure that our relations don't go to that level. So it is very important for all of us to look at the larger picture and not get caught in certain games or certain ploy of certain elements who do not want India and Turkey to come together. With these words, I wish all the very best and congratulate once again DEİK for organizing this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ambassador, for your good feeling for Turkey, Republic of Turkey, and also kind compliments to India and Turkey Business Council. Now we are also Mrs. Musudi Choudhary, Acting General Consul, is with us. Also Mr. Alok Verma, Commercial Attaché in Ankara, is with us. We are also thankful to them. They are doing great things. They are making good bridge for us. Excellency Sanjay Panda, thanks a lot of your kind informative message and kind speech. Thank you so much. I'd like to give the speech to His Excellency Mr. Shakir Özkan Torunlar, our ambassador of Turkey to India. He is very experienced. Really, we follow him. He is for years in India. He has done many great things. We will listen to him. Ambassador, we are with you.
Öncelikle Tevfik Bey, sizlere bizi bir araya getirdiğiniz için bir kez daha teşekkür etmek isterim. Sesim geliyor galiba, görüntü ve ses.
Geliyor Büyükelçim, geliyor.
Sağ olun. Sayın DEİK Başkanımız Nail Olpağ da her zaman bize yol göstericiliği, desteği, eksilmeyen desteği, başımız ne zaman sıkışsa sığınacağımız bir liman olarak gördüğümüz şahsı için de ayrıca teşekkür etmek isterim. Tabii az önce Sayın Büyükelçi Sanjay Panda'nın dediği gibi biz kendisiyle zaman zaman geldiği günden beri telefonla konuşuyoruz. Zaten olması gereken de bu. Müşteriyle de benzer çalışma tarzını yürütmüştük ve bundan da gerçekten verimli sonuçlar elde etmiştik. Kendisine bir kez daha ama bu kez yüz yüze ekrandan Türkiye'ye hoş geldiniz diyorum. Görevlerinde başarılar diliyorum. Geçen gün kendisine söylediğim gibi birkaç aylık aradan sonra Hindistan'ın Ankara Büyükelçiliğinde bir Hint meslektaşımın yeni göreve başlamış olması Türkiye'nin Hindistan'daki büyükelçisi olarak bana da ilave güç ve kuvvet kazandırmıştır. Tabiatıyla bu vesileyle benden önceki konuşmacıların da çok güzel ifadelerle değindikleri, hatırladıkları gibi ben de 2 gün önce aramızdan ayrılan Hindistan'ın bir önceki Cumhurbaşkanı Sayın Pranab Mukherjee'nin gerek Türkiye-Hindistan ilişkilerine gerek ülkesine yaptığı hizmetlerle anacağımızı belirtmek isterim. Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımız da Sayın Mukherjee'nin acı kaybı üzerine Hindistan Cumhurbaşkanı'na hemen bir yazılı taziye mesajı göndererek milletçe acılarını paylaştıklarımızı ifade etmiştir. Hindistan'ın bağımsızlığını kazanmasından önce doğan Sayın Mukherjee ömrü boyunca bu ülkeye muhtelif makamlarda hizmet ederek bugünkü Hindistan'ı, dünyanın 5. büyük ekonomisi haline gelen Hindistan'ın bu noktaya gelmesine büyük katkılar sunmuştur. Benim açımdan yeri de 29 Mart 2017'de güven mektubumu sunduğum Hindistan Cumhurbaşkanı Pranab Mukherjee olmasıdır. Kendisi 2013 yılında ülkemizi ziyaret etmişti. Mukabil olarak 30 Nisan 1 Mayıs 2017 tarihlerinde de anayasa referandumundan sonra Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımızın gerçekleştirdikleri ilk yurt dışı resmi ziyaretlerinde, devlet ziyaretlerinde Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımızı Yeni Delhi'de ağırlamıştı. Dolayısıyla Türkiye-Hindistan ilişkilerine 5 yıllık görev süresi boyunca 2 kez mukabil ziyaretlerle ciddi katkısı olan büyük bir devlet adamıydı. Tüm Hint dostlarımıza başsağlığı diliyorum. Benden önceki konuşmacı değerli meslektaşım Sanjay Panda'nın Türkiye-Hindistan ilişkilerinin içinde bulunduğu duruma ve geleceğine dair sözlerine aynen katılıyorum. Söylediklerini tekrar etmek istemiyorum. Aralık 2013'ten bu yana kesintisiz olarak Türkiye-Hindistan ilişkilerini, ikili ilişkilerini hem merkezdeki görevimden hem de son 3,5 yıldır Yeni Delhi'deki görevimden bizzat takip eden bir diplomatım. Geldiğimiz yer, nereye vardığımız ve gidebileceğimiz hedefler ortadadır. Ve iki ülke bu potansiyeli haizdir. 2017'de Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımızla Hindistan Başbakanı Sayın Modi Yeni Delhi'de Türkiye ve Hindistan iş dünyasına birlikte kürsüden hitap ederlerken o gün için gerçekçi bir hedef ortaya koymuşlardı. Neydi bu? 10 milyar dolarlık ticaret hacmi. Peki o günkü ticaret hacmimiz neydi bu hedef konuşulurken? 6,5 milyar dolar. 6,5'tan 10 milyar dolara 3 yıl içinde ulaşabilmek mümkün müydü? Gayet de mümkündü. Gerçekleştirilebilir bir rakam koydular Sayın Modi ve Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımız. Ve biz 1,5 yıl içinde 8,8 milyar dolara ulaştık ticaret hacminde. Demek ki olabiliyormuş. Ama bütün paydaşlar ellerini taşın altına soktuğu zaman olabiliyor bu. Yani Hindistan özel sektörü, Türk özel sektörü, Türkiye'nin Delhi'deki büyükelçisi, Hindistan'ın Ankara büyükelçisi, hükümetler ve bürokrasi. Bunlardan bir tanesi vazifesini biraz eksik yaparsa maalesef eski rakamlara süratle geri dönülmesi de ihtimal dahilindedir. Nitekim çabaların bizi getirdiği yer ortadadır. Bakın hep pandemiden bahsediyoruz. Ne zamandan beri? Mart ayından beri bütün dünyayı, bütün küresel ekonomiyi vuran. Fakat 7 aylık, 2020 yılının 7 aylık verilerine baktığımızda ki önceki gün elime geçti. İthalatımız ve ihracatımızın toplamı olan ticaret hacmimiz bizim 2015-2016'da zaten korona olmayan dönemde gerçekleştirdiğimiz ticaret hacmi. Yani korona elinden gelen çabayı sarf etse de Türk özel sektörünün çabalarına, Hint özel sektörünün çabalarına darbeyi pek vuramıyor. Peki bunun üzerine biz neyi koyacağız? Az önce Sayın Büyükelçinin bahsettiği gibi, az önce Sayın DEİK Başkanımızın bahsettiği gibi yeni normalle yaşamayı öğrenerek, krizlerden fırsat üretmeyi öğrenerek ve bunun için çabalayarak çok daha ileri seviyelere getirebiliriz. Sayın Büyükelçinin koyduğu hedef, aynen katılıyorum, olmayacak bir hedef değil 2020'lerin ötesindeki. İki büyük ekonomi, G20'nin iki büyük ekonomisi, büyüklükleri, ekonomik büyüklükleri 3 trilyon dolara açan iki ekonominin sadece 8 milyar dolar, 10 milyar dolara sıkışıp kalması hakikaten üzerinde durulması gereken. Bu rakamlar çok rahat aşılabilir. Bunun için tabii neler yapılabilir? Fuarlar zaten dijital ortamda gerçekleştiriliyor. Ciddi bir katılımla gerçekleşiyor muhtemelen. Nitekim bugün bu bizim açılış seansından sonra da iş dünyamız, iki ülkenin iş dünyası karşılıklı oturacak, konuşacak neler yapılabileceğine. Bizler iki büyükelçi olarak, büyükelçiliklerimizin ticaret müşavirleri olarak, ben Delhi açısından konuşayım, bizim ticaret müşavirimiz benden daha çok çalışıyor ekibiyle birlikte. Mumbai'deki ticaret ateşesimiz benden daha çok çalışıyor. Biz buradayız. Bütün iş adamı, yani hem Hint iş dünyasının hem Türk iş dünyasının bu köprüyü daha sağlam ayaklar üzerine kurması için varız. Lütfen bizi 7 gün 24 saat her zaman ulaşın, ne yapabileceksek yapalım. Aramıza yeni katılan değerli meslektaşım Ankara'da Büyükelçiliğinde aynı şekilde benden daha hızlı bu işlere giriştiğini, daha Ankara'ya varalı 90 gün olmadı. Hükümetimiz üyeleriyle, bakanlarımızla, bürokrasimizle çok yakın ilişkiler kurduğunu memnuniyetle görüyorum. Başımız sıkıştığında birbirimizi arıyoruz. Omuz vermeye çalışıyoruz elimizden geldiğince. Bizler buradayız. Şu anda benim belki de Sayın Büyükelçinin bütün sözlerine katıldığım gibi ekleyeceğim bir husus daha var. İki ülke arasındaki bağlantısallığı bir an önce kurmak zorundayız. Kargo trafiğimiz arttı. Türk Hava Yolları kargo pandemi öncesinden daha fazla frekans artışına gitti. Sağ olsun Hindistan makamları hiçbir engel çıkartmıyorlar. Hem seferler hem destinasyonları arttı ve bu tabii ki ticarette önemli yansımaları oluyor. Fakat bunun ötesinde hava bağlantısallığını, yani pandemiden önce günde 2 kez yapılan Hindistan özel havayolu şirketi Indigo'nun Turkish Airlines'la, Türk Hava Yolları'yla kod paylaşımı içinde gerçekleştirdiği Delhi-İstanbul bağlantılarını, belki aynı sıklıkla olmayabilir, daha düşük frekansla bugünkü, tabii ki bu bir talebe bağlı bir pazardır. Daha seyrek de olsa yavaş yavaş başlatıp insanlarımıza, Hint dostlarımıza, Türk vatandaşlarına aramızda 6 saat mesafe olsa dahi biz birimizden kopmadık, devam ediyoruz. Pandemi bizi engellemedi mesajını vermemiz lazım. Türk Hava Yolları'nın yıllardır her gün herkes olmak üzere, birer frekans olmak üzere Mumbai-İstanbul, Delhi-İstanbul arasındaki seferlerini düşük kapasiteyle de olsa, frekans sayısını azaltarak da olsa ilk etapta başlatmakta yarar görüyorum. Biz bunun için teklif ve önerilerimizi 3 gün önce yine yazılı olarak Hindistan makamlarıyla paylaştık. Zaten bizi de Hindistan Dışişleri Bakanlığı teşvik etti. Bize bildirin, biz de bunu Hindistan Sivil Havacılık Bakanlığı nezdinde takip edelim, destekleyelim dediler. Onlardan gelen cesaretlendirme üzerine ben de bunun resmi yazışmasını 3 gün önce Dışişleri Bakanlığı'na sundum. Eminim ki kısa zamanda buna bir sonuç alabiliriz. Yavaş yavaş bu uçuşlar başlar. Türk insanları Hindistan'a, iş dünyası özellikle daha rahat gelip gidebilir. Zaten Türk Hava Yolları Air India ile Hindistan'ın bayrak taşıyıcısıyla kod paylaşımı düzenlemesini yıllardır, neredeyse 10 küsur yıldır yürütüyor. Air Indigo da bunun bir parçası. Bu bir, dediğimiz gibi diğer tüm sektörlerde olduğu gibi bir takım oyunu. El ele verirsek bunu ilerletiriz. Görebildiğim kadarıyla bizden sonraki konuşmacılar arasında Confederation of Indian Industries'den Sayın Rakesh Kaur var. Federation of Indian Exports Association'dan Sayın Mekka var. Kendilerine bu toplantıyı şereflendirdikleri için teşekkür ediyorum. Onların rehberliğiyle, yol göstericiliğiyle önümüzdeki dönemde pandeminin getirdiği kısıtlamaları aşacağız ve ilişkilerimizi daha öteye taşıyacağız. Görebildiğim kadarıyla saat kısıtlamasını ihlal etmekteyim. Öncelikle bunun için özür dilerim. Fakat bugünkü birlikteliğimizi fiziken altyapısını gerçekleştiren DEİK'teki her ne kadar söz alıp konuşmasalar da her zaman desteklerini bana ve ticaret müşavirimize verdiklerini bildiğim arkadaşlarımıza, Selma Hanım'a Temmuz Bey'e de ayrıca teşekkür ediyorum. Ve olabilecek bir soru gelecekse Haziran'dan cevaplamaya hazırım. Saygılarımı sunuyorum.
Evet. Büyükelçim, konuşmanız için teşekkür ediyoruz. Thanks a lot, Ambassador Mr. Şakir Özkan Torunlar, for your kind informative message and kind speech. Thank you. Now we go through two main sessions with three prominent speakers. First session, as I stated before, on business and investment opportunity in Turkey and India. Now here, would like to give the speech to Mr. Rakesh Kaur, member of, yes, Ambassador.
Sorry, Tevfik Bey, I'm sorry, as Ambassador mentioned also, I also spoke a little more, but the point is,
Sure.
I have to leave within 10 minutes because 11 o'clock, I have another video conference to get into. So my apologies for that. I'm here for another 10 minutes. So I was, with apology to Mr. Gore, I was just wondering if there is any particular question which is for me, I could probably take in the next 5-7 minutes. Then you could move to Mr. Gore, if that is acceptable to you, Mr. Gore.
No problem, sir. No problem. Thank you so much, sir. His Excellency.
In case there is anything, in case it's not there, I'm here for the next 10 minutes. Then
Okay.
I'd be very happy to listen to Mr. Gore. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ambassador. Would like to give the speech to Mr. Rakesh Kaur, member of Confederation of Indian Industry, and also President Railways Calcutta Power Transmission Limited. Mr. Rakesh, we are with you. We will listen to you. Just your presentation, your information is very valued for us. We are listening to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Tevfik Donbes, Chairman, sir. It is really an honor, and I respect timings of His Excellency, Mr. Panda. There is nothing very specific. We are always getting your support, but as we just want to take from the industry point of view. So thank you. Basically, it is good afternoon in India and good morning in Turkey. So good morning, everybody. Mr. Tevfik, Mr. Nail Olpek, His Excellency, Mr. Sanjay Panda, His Excellency Şakir Özkan Torunlar, and Mr. S.R. Mika, Regional Chairman, Federation of Indian Export Association, Ms. Aysun Temur, and our other Indian officials, Mr. Alok Verma, distinguished guest. It is really an honor to get an opportunity to work in this kind of situations where things are difficult for every country, but same time the economical considerations are taking a priority, and all of us are working in such a way that the economical activity move on and the GDP hit any country which is facing, we are able to recover faster and faster. And most of us want to have a V-curve recovery in this situation. Both the Excellencies, His Excellency Mr. Sanjay Panda and His Excellency Mr. Şakir Özkan Torunlar, this shows the importance of the situation where the CII want to be very participative and want to connect with a lot of industry colleagues, and your presence is really making this opportunity and the deep commitment for this economical engagement. Our mission, Indian mission in Turkey and Turkish mission in India, both are always been very supportive, and industry feel very, very conducive to work each other. Sometimes the dialogue and geopolitics and you can say narratives which comes out in the papers is not the real reflection. We, as His Excellency Mr. Sanjay Pandya has mentioned, that we are a natural partner, and we always try to look for the opportunity to work together with various opportunities in India as well as in Turkey. Our special thanks to DEİK, which is really making this opportunities again and again, where the platform is available, industry is trying to club with each other, and this kind of support from DEİK is really, really remarkable to do the business connect. We are natural partner and we share historical ties, and we also see that it is not only we can cooperate in India and you can say in Turkey, we can also cooperate in Central Asian countries where we both are present. We have cultural ties, we have cultural interest in both the countries, and there lot of projects comes, lot of infrastructure issues comes where we both try to compete with each other. Instead of competing, we can cooperate with each other and try to bring a better infrastructure, better name in these countries also. We have also seen that although our relationship is very, very strong, but potential of doing business is also very, very strong, but we are not able to use the potential up to that extent. And nowadays, after this COVID-19, every country is thinking to have the self-sufficiency and self-reliance. But development cannot happen in the isolation. Development requires cooperation, understanding, changing of the knowledge, and we cannot go with a trade kind of mindset. So it is possible that the area where Turkey is doing remarkably well can be put up or can put up the bases in India, and similar way Indian companies can also put up the base in Turkey to see and build up each other's strength. If we see where is the strength of Turkey, investment and construction. The kind of qualification Turkey company enjoy, Indian companies always look forward to club with them and they make the joint venture. So if the Turkish company comes to India and try to make a joint venture, it will really going to help us in a very, very strong way. And they can have the basis, we can provide them the platform, we can open the offices, taxation, other kind of all facilities can be offered to the Turkish companies if they come in the field where we are going to have a very, very large investment. Similar way, we can also support IT and IT-enabled platforms and services to Turkish, which in turn they can take it to the global basis and they can further feed it to the Europe. I would not like to again go on the trade, 8 million trade and trade differences. We have a lot of potential as all the speakers have explained, and we should try to maximize it as much as possible. Now, out of this domain where the water management, power, infrastructure, distribution, railways, metros, these are all the opportunities Turkish company can come and explore and provide either technical support, partnership in the infrastructure as an investment opportunity, and India is having a huge, huge potential in this area. Similarly, we can also come sharing our experience of large volumes in power systems, distributions, metro railways, doing some job in Africa together, and working out on the solid waste management in these countries. So construction, textile, food and agriculture, power, railways, metro, all these areas are there for the cooperation, including the leather and leather industry. We have seen a lot of Turkish companies present, and we are also in touch with so many of them. And with the support of His Excellency in Ankara and His Excellency in Delhi, we are quite sure that we can really do wonders by clubbing each other and cooperating. We, CII, along with the Indian Embassy and as well as with the Turkish Embassy through business forums, we are always trying to have the maximum engagement, and we will continue to do so. We look forward to the similar opportunity from Turkish side, and we believe that with today digital interaction will help us in strengthening our business to business connects. We are sure that CII would continue to play its part in enhancing our economical relationship, and we are thankful for this opportunity, and thanks to everybody for organizing this. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rakesh Kaur. Really, we are also thankful to you for your kind cooperation, your kind help for everything. Thank you. Yes, Ambassador.
Friends, I'm sorry I have to leave now. But just before going, okay, I wanted to say that the Indian Embassy in Ankara and our consulate in Istanbul are always there for any queries. I see that there are some questions which are being posed, so I just wanted to take this opportunity to mention that any queries, please send an email to me or my colleague Alok Verma. You will give the email addresses through the chat for everyone. And also our Consul General is present here, Sudhi Chaudhary, Acting Consul General. She could also be contacted. So friends, thank you very much. I wish I could have stayed on and continued to engage with you, but unfortunately I have to leave now. It's a prior commitment. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
See you, Ambassador. Thanks for your kind participation. Thank you, Mr. Rakesh Kaur, again for your kind speech. Really, the time to forget our habits, to forget all the quarrels in the past and wipe the state clean. So this pandemic will start a very important point for both countries, and we observe from now on. Secondly, I'd like to mention her name, speak to Mrs. Aysun Timur, our commercial consular. She is really doing great things, as Ambassador said, Mr. Shakir Özkan Torunlar. Really, whenever we call her, even if it is night, it is day, they respond us and do more that she can for us and for Turkey, not for only Turkey, for also Indian friends. We will listen her. We will listen her experience in India. Also, she is looking for Sri Lanka and India also, and for commercial consulate. Yes, Mrs. Aysun Timur, we are with you. We listen to you.
First of all of you hear me right. Honorable ambassadors of Turkey and India, Mr. Gaur, Mr. Mecca, and dear guests, good afternoon to India and good morning to Turkey. Thank you for giving an opportunity today to contribute these valuable discussions. This is Aysun Timur. I'm the commercial counselor of Turkey. I have served already 2 productive years in India on trade and investment diplomacy, and I have still 2 more years to help both Indian and Turkish business circles. His Excellency Mr. Ambassadors beautifully presented the state of our relations. In addition to that, Turkey and India has a deep-rooted tradition in trade and investment. Between 2017 and 19, our trade volume surpassed or reached $8 billion during 2 years in a row. Our trade baskets are alike. We import raw materials from the world in order to produce intermediate or finished goods. In 2020, due to the pandemic disaster, world economies have shrunk. But next year, hopefully, we are expected to contract to positive growth rates as well as trade figures of pre-COVID time. As of now, we have a decrease of 30% in trade volume. I also assume that we had the deep and the worst days are left behind. Now we are having an increasing trend for both countries, inshallah. I would also like to underline the structure of our bilateral trade. Thanks to the unique production capacity of India, Turkey exports $1 million, whereas the imports are 7-fold, which is unbalanced, as you see. We need to work together on building a more balanced and sustainable trade relations, which means a structured legal framework for trade and investment, frequent visits, delegations, exchange of views, expertise, and knowledge through official meetings. Here, I would like to put a little emphasis on the importance of Turkey-India Joint Commission meetings. I said we need to cooperate. In this respect, Turkey closely follows Make in India strategy. We see as Turkey great potential for our countries under the specified 25 sectors, especially in auto and spare parts, electrical machinery, food and beverage processing and extracting machinery, textile and ready garments, defense equipments, technical consultancy, and construction appear as the main sectors for collaboration. Accordingly, Turkey has been an abundant environment for Indian agri-machinery and spare parts. Many of you well-known Indian companies have been investing in this regard. Beside of that, mining of minerals like steel and copper, pharmaceuticals, hospitality, bridge and highway construction, and information technologies in Turkey. India has a strength in software services, as all of you are aware of. She has one of the largest resources pool of engineers, raw materials for sectors like agro-processing, pharmaceuticals, ready-made garment, gems and jewelry, leather products. India has been also a major supplier and leading producer to the global food basket, like milk, wheat, pulses, basmati rice, spices, oil mills, meat, sugar, cotton. In addition to Make in India, in Make in India's 6-year success, now India is becoming self-reliant in sectors like pharmaceuticals and food. India is trying to improve growth of manufacturing. She has encouraged digitalization and technology implementation, global e-commerce. Nowadays, the retail giants are more competitive in India and integrated also into global supply chain than ever. Of course, we have to say some words about the actual facts of our time. COVID-19 has presented a big challenge to all sectors without any exceptions. The pandemic has severely affected global supply chains. But what is ahead of us? Big disasters bring also shifts and turns. The manufacturing and the processes within most industries will require changes. Social distancing, contactless trade, self-reliant production, flexible supply and chain, more digitalized life, maybe digital money, more startups for health and emergency. Remote and dynamic labor will have to be maintained in the near future. Despite certain challenges, this is a very fortunate time for India to leverage its strategic location in South Asia and Pacific. The large market size is ready to attract foreign investors, including Turkish technology businesses. Every month, new foreign investments are fueled in the economy we observe here. Allow me to say that Turkey has been ready to reach out for rapidly growing and deepening Indian market. Last but not least, countries in post-pandemic world need to be self-reliant and self-sufficient. However, for resilient economies, collaboration in a complementary manner is crucial. In this regard, Atmanirbhar Bharat could be a catalyst for more business partnerships between Turkey and India. I would like to end my words and say thank you to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Thank you too much for your kind speech, Mr. Aysun Timur. I'd like to stress here, I'd like to emphasize here, there are hidden heroes always for both countries. In Ankara, Mrs. Alok Verma, in India, Mrs. Aysun Timur really play a big role, vital role for business economic relations. They are rushing for business, they are rushing for economy, they are rushing for culture. So they are like our right and left hand in India and Turkey. We are thankful to them. Also, Mrs. Sudhi Chaudhary is together with us. So we are thankful to India and Turkey. Now, second session will start and we'll listen to our guests sharing experience. You know, this Turkish company mostly in India. So we have lots of things to learn from them. And I would like to give first speech to Mr. Fikri Özdemir.
We have forgot Mr. President, we have forgot Mr. Isar Mecca.
Okay. I'm sorry, forgive me, pardon. As a last speaker, I'd like to give the speech. So very attractive speech, our speakers speak here so much, I'm really sometimes confused. Sorry, forgive me. As a last speaker, I would like to give the speech Mr. Israr Mecca, South Regional Chairman at Federation of Indian Export Association. Mr. Mecca will listen to you.
Thank you.
We have lots of things to learn from you. We are with you.
Thank you so much. Again, good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you are. His Excellency Shakir Torunlar, His Excellency Sanjay Panda, who's just left us, but anyways, just to mention, Mr. Donmez, Chairman, Mr. Olpak, President, Mr. Gaur, Madam Timur, and other dignitaries who are there in this webinar, who are also seeing us in this webinar. I'd like to first of all thank DEİK for inviting me to speak at this web conference on Turkey and India business trade opportunities. I have been asked by the organizers to talk about investment opportunities in India. But before that, let me talk briefly about FIEO, the organization that I represent. It's the Federation of Indian Export Organizations. It's basically an apex body set up by the Ministry of Commerce and the private industries. And our job is specifically to look at the exports out of India. We coordinate with the central and the state governments for policy making. We give them suggestions. We look at issues that are there for all the exporters with regards to customs or with regards to anything dealing with export. We have almost about 40,000 members. And we represent everything from pins to cars to coir to food, anything that goes out of India in merchandise export, we represent. Basically how it works is that there are councils for export, and all the councils are part of the federation. We provide a platform to reach out for our members to reach out to various markets, and also at the same time for foreign buyers to access the Indian exporters as well. In fact, after this meeting, I have another meeting with Rwanda and Uganda as well, with a very similar concept. As His Excellency Torunlar mentioned, to increase our bilateral trade to 10 billion, and also His Excellency Mr. Panda had mentioned, we should not waste a crisis. I believe that the time is perfect to look at the opportunities to invest in India. As you may have heard previously from Madam Timur, our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, announced a new direction for India a few weeks ago. He had mentioned Atmanirbhar Bharat, which basically means a self-reliant India. This is a major policy push for localization and self-dependence. It is more so for products that were coming in from other Asian countries, which were coming into India. And we're also selling it locally in the local markets, for example, mobile phones and televisions and electronics and stuff like that. But this is making the outlook for investment into India very, very encouraging. The governments, both in center and states, have completely changed their perspective and are playing the role of a facilitator, which, you know, if you remember before, previously, governments used to be more of a, I would say, a controller, but now it's more of a facilitator where they are pushing for investments to come in and manufacturing to happen. In fact, the attitude has changed so much that there is a healthy but a very serious competition between states to attract investments. A great example of a recent investment proposal that was done by one of our colleagues. It was such that one of the states in the southern part had offered all the subsidies and other facilities to this investor, but then the state of Tamil Nadu aggressively wooed the investors by topping every single benefit that they gave and ensured that those investments came over to the other state. This is the kind of aggressive behavior or pattern that is happening in all over India to set up these manufacturing hubs within India and bring investors. And there is a clear direction from the government about how we would like to bring in more and more investors. A few years ago, it was almost impossible to get plug-and-play facilities in India. Now, many states offer ready-made industrial parks where you can start your manufacturing. And if, in case of special requirements, are even open to a build-to-suit facilities as well. The government of India is considering production-linked subsidiaries to focus, again, on new manufacturing investments. And there was, I believe, a lot of telephone manufacturing and mobile phone manufacturing, which has moved into India with these subsidiaries in place as well. The time now is for countries like India and Turkey to move away from the traditional markets that we are all used to for exports. For example, Europe and the US have always been the traditional markets. I believe that also for Turkish manufacturers and for Indian manufacturers, we need to start looking at other markets. Like I said before, we are looking at Rwanda, we're looking at Africa. I'm sure my own company has manufacturing in Bangladesh and in Ethiopia, and there we find also Turkish manufacturers who are also there. So similarly, we believe that the other markets are going to be very, very important, and especially the Turkish market is also important for us, and the Indian market will also be very, very important. As mentioned before by many of the speakers, we need to look at what kind of joint ventures we can do together to see how to bring those technologies and to build a market together. With the fast changing global policies and protectionism becoming more common, it is important to also have multiple manufacturing bases. I believe that in India and Turkey are very, very similar in terms of technical know-how. We both have strong technical know-how, though different, but we still have a lot of technical know-how, which if we add together will be very beneficial. For example, I would like to talk about textiles, where Turkish manufacturers are leaders. There are in agro, in food processing, construction, renewable energy, automotive industry, which is huge in Turkey, is also huge in India, defense, steel, and also defense is something that India is looking at increasing their self-reliance. So we'd be open to, again, looking at joint ventures there to see how they can make defense projects. And also to look to see that that apart from, India wants to again move away from the other Asian countries and the dependence. So I think the stage is set very well for Turkish manufacturers to look into India, to set up certain plants or to work with existing manufacturers. Just a small talk about the leather sector, which is what I represent. We have shoe companies in India. We employ about 25,000 people. And I also happen to be the Council of Leather Exports regional chairman for the South as well. What we have seen is that there are great opportunities for the Turkish chemical manufacturers, the Turkish machinery manufacturers to be able to sell into India. I believe that, we have seen technologically also they are more closer to the European, Italian manufacturers compared to the other cheaper Chinese or Thai manufacturers of the same products. So we have been working to try and see how we can increase our partnerships with these companies as well, but I'm sure with DEİK and the council and the embassies that are there in both the countries, we can improve this further. One of the things that we did see is for the import sector in Turkey, very few of the Indian imports constitute to more than 15%. For example, actually it's more than 5%, because in iron and steel, it was about 14% of the total imports came from India in iron and steel. In dye extracts, it was 11%. In organic pearls and precious stones, 8%. And chemicals organic chemicals were about 7.5%. That was all the sectors that was represented. And it still shows that their opportunities are much, much higher and bigger, and for sure we can try and get it up to the 10 billion that the Excellency spoke about before. I know that there are very famous Turkish companies who are already in India, like Sisicam for glass. Arcelec for white goods, and Celebi for the logistics part as well. Similarly, Indian investments have also gone into Turkey, Mahindra, TAFE, Wipro, Reliance, etc. Many companies have already invested. And I believe that that is also another opportunity, because looking at how the connect is for Turkey with the CIS countries and the access into the Europe, I think this is also something that the Indian manufacturers will be open to looking at, to setting up partnerships or even manufacturing operations there. So I really believe that the time is now, and we need to move fast. We all believe in our sectors that 2021 there will be a boom, and this boom, to take advantage of this boom, we need to move much faster and try and look at partnerships between the two countries. So again, I'd like to thank DEİK for giving me this opportunity to speak, and like to take this forward. Thank you so much.
Mr. Israr Mekka, thank you. Really, FIEO is very active nowadays. Last month we had a meeting with this organization, and thank you too much for your kind contribution and your kind support. And now, second session will start. Our guests will share their experience on business in India. These Turkish companies mostly, and they are in India. We will listen them. First speech I would like to give Mr. Fikri Özdemir, Operations Director of Arçelik, India. Yes, Mr. Fikri, we are with you. We will have lots of things to learn from you. Yes, please.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, before prior speeches are very fruitful for me. So I just try to summarize my experience in India as well. So the Koç Group and Tata Group of India, they made a joint venture, and the subsidiaries of it is Arçelik and Voltas respectively. They made a joint venture dated May 2017, and the operation started by August 2017. And since then, I'm assigned as the CTO of the company of newly formed Voltas Beko. So this is an home appliances manufacturing company. At the very beginning, thanks to our partner Tata Group and Voltas, we have gone through all the regulatory issues, what we need to do. And it was so clear, and the Gujarat government helped us a lot about what to do, how to do. So we decided into investing into Gujarat, and we established our factory in Sanand, so in GIDC. So the operation of factory started dated by 30th of January 2019. So since then we are in the manufacturing and we are steadily increasing our numbers. So in regards to my experience, I have been, due to my previous job, I was handling the purchasing of many of the goods. So I was dealing with a lot of, Far Eastern countries and companies, and I was traveling all around the Far East. So like China, Korea, Taiwan, Japan, and so on. So I have been witnessing the supply development and as well as the industry development of all these countries in the past 20 years. And when I first landed into India, back in August 2017, my feeling for India was like when I first landed into China in the year 2000, okay? And I feel that since then, China has such much developed. I feel that India has a big potential in the upcoming years to catch in China, even cross China in regards to business. So why I was so confident, since the supply chain and the suppliers in India, they were very well established, and their ability, their talent is much higher, what I feel, than when I first landed to China. The other thing is also there is no, let's say, language barrier in between. So each and every company, except the native language Indian. Everybody can speak very well English, even better than the English, by the way. So during the time, we have created many suppliers, and today, as we are seeing, almost 65% of our supply base is in local India, okay? 35% which we have to buy from other foreign countries, and I'm sure that by the years following, the 35% which we have to buy from other countries would be localized also in India, and that talent as well as that industry would be developed in India as well. So what I see from talent point of view, manpower point of view, India has a big potential, as well as the market development of India is booming up and rapidly increasing. What I feel is, the penetration of home appliances in India comparing to, same, why I am comparing every time to China is same population, that is why. So the same population China, penetration of India of home appliances is very, very low now. For example, in refrigerator, the Chinese market is making 48 to 50 million refrigerators for local market every year, which is 12 million in India, but same population. So you can immediately see and foresee the expectation for the upcoming years. It is similar also for the washing machines, for air conditioners, for almost everything. So, nowadays, even the COVID pandemic is there. Unfortunately, for 2 months of complete knockdown in the country, we had faced some struggles, but now everything is becoming normal, even better than the normal, since there is an accumulated demand in the market, and that demand is coming now. And we are seeing the numbers, in our numbers, the increase in the Indian market. So from now on, I just make a small summary. If could be, if you like to have some questions, would be more interactive.
Mr. Fikri, is
Yes.
only just your presentation, your experience will be, but if any question from our participants, can also, of course, ask you.
So if there is any questions, please don't hesitate.
Okay. That you are in India is very important, Mr. Fikri, as Arçelik, because everybody now in the world carry their investment from China to India. But you were early as Arçelik, so it's a great honor and great vision of Arçelik. We are proud of Arçelik, really. Mr. Fikri, I think there is no question. We enjoyed your experience. Thanks a lot for your kind, interesting, useful experience, kind speech. Thank you too much.
Thank you.
Another company, thank you. Another company, Betati, and our guest, Mr. Mehmet Ali Ugur, chairman of Betati, board member of Turkey-India Business Council as well. We are with this young and successful businessman. We listen to him. Yes, Mr. Mehmet Ali Ugur, we are with you. We will enjoy listening to you.
Thank you, President. I will keep a short speech because of the time. Good morning, Turkey, and good morning, India. It's Mehmet Uğur from Bilateral. I hope it will be a very beneficial webinar for all of us to improve business relations between Turkey and India. At Bita, we are one of the leading tea companies in our sector, so we have been doing business with India for the last 40 years. Mainly, we are dealing with food products such as tea, coffee, and basmati rice from India. And I would say we are one of the biggest exporters from India in our sectors. And we operate almost in all parts of India, such as Delhi, Calcutta, Punjab region, Haryana, and south part of India. And we have like around 10 factories around the world. We buy the product from India, we pack and we distribute by ourselves. Like between 2 2000 and 2010, we have done almost 90% of the Turkish tea export to India. It's like one of the highest export. And so India is a very rich country for the raw material. So I think for our experience, it will be a good start to buy from India and sell to around the world. So you will have the understanding of the Indian business culture. Then you can invest, produce, and export from India. And it will make it easy to export to India. So I can summarize the Indian market like in two types. It's a very price sensitive market. It's a low quality and low price, and high quality and very expensive price. So there's a very low percentage of middle class business. So we are trying to operate in two parts, high and the low part. I don't want to take too much of time because of we already exceed our time. I would like to end my speech, and we have to continue the networking room. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for DEİK.
Thank you, Mr. Mehmet Ali Ugur. You are a really very old company in Sri Lanka also in India, we know, and your kind contribution we appreciate too much. Thank you. We are, of course, closing the chapter and the session section, since we are to end of the interconnected business online meeting. After now, we will go to B2B room by the links of food, construction, and also healthcare to meet each other. Let's do business after these sessions. Especially one special thanks to Mr. Şakir Özkan Torunlar, especially really waited till the end of the session today. He didn't leave us alone today. And also a special thanks also our president, Mr. Nail Opak. Nail Opak waited us also till now. We are thankful to him. Ranjay Panda from Ankara, Mr. Şakir Özkan Torunlar from Delhi, Mr. Opak from Istanbul. Really, we are thankful to them. Abar India, Abar Turkey, I say, Indian and Turkish friends. We are really thank you too much. Please take a good care of you. You are very important for us. Thank you. See you.
Thank you so much.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tef.
See you.